These are my Bahia stage 1s. And I also got some of them working over here with a mixture of other things. But we're focused on the growth of these. Hey everyone, it's Mikey, and this is my first attempt at a video kind of showing you the steps going through a batch of rocks from beginning to end. So I didn't make a video to start. We're doing something called Bahia Agates. I started them last week and I just finished the first week of stage 1. So I have a few of these here that haven't been in the tumbler yet, so they haven't started their cycle. I'll probably put these in once the volume goes down in one of my barrels and throw those in later. But to give you an idea of what these look like coming out of the bag, like I said, I believe these come from Brazil. I got them from therockshed.com, so that's where we're starting. Like I said, again, I have ran them 1 week in coarse grit 60-90. I've already cleaned them off with the toothbrush, and I got them sitting in water. I'm just going to kind of give you a look at what they look like after 1 week. I got a Moscow Mule here, and we'll go through and I'll show you basically what some of these look like after 1 week. I believe I'm going to throw all of these back in again for another week of course and try and get rid of some of these pits and gaps and other things. So some cool colors on there, a lot of little dots. I apologize, it's the first video, so I don't know how well my lighting is or anything else. It's a nice little eyeball spot up there. Smaller one. This sort of almost resembles a carnelian. Again, I've only been tumbling for about a year, so I'm not a genius when it comes to just about anything we're dealing with here. Here's one. Got some decent banding on the side. Now the reason I chose these, when I first bought my very first Lower Tone QT6, it came with the standard mixed bag of rocks, and there was a bright orange one that came out really well out of my first batch, and I've been looking for a long time to figure out what that rock was, because I know calcite was too soft, and I finally posted it on I think Rock Tumbling Hobby, and somebody kind of told me that the Bahias come out in this orangish color, which I really like, and I can use for a lot of the projects I do with my rocks when I'm completed with them. My mom's favorite color is orange, so this one I love. Look at the lines here. I don't know if it's the best view, but it's got all these holes in it, so see, it's going to be really neat here in a couple weeks, but until then I'm going to keep it in stage 1 until I can get these porous holes down, and maybe it'll reveal some more of that banding as we go. Beautiful rock here, lots of banding on it, lots of banding here, just a little indent there that I'm hoping will grind away further down the line. Look at this. Man, it's hard to get it to show up almost. Let me see if I can't get it to focus. Maybe. I'll have to play around with the camera work a little bit since this is my first one. I follow Michigan Rocks all the time, and he does a really good job, but I think his setup is a little bit more advanced than mine. This is just a preliminary. This one I love. So on the bottom, what you're gonna see here is a bunch of, if you rub your finger on it, which I know you can't do, but like you can feel these little pockets in it, which will wear it down through another couple weeks. This is a big problem spot here, and if I were more advanced and had more money, I would have a grinder or a cab wheel. But the thing I love about this rock is this huge quartz pocket on the back side of this. For some reason, I love agates with a big quartz pocket in the middle. So that's one of my favorites here. right now these are all tumbling at a 3-pound lower tone 3A. I found online for like 40 bucks. So this is a neat rock right here. Sorry, I wasn't even showing you. I don't think you can see it, but there's a little bit of banding here. And then when you get over to this side, again with the quartz pocket, I love these quartz pockets right here. Sort of neat how that goes. Again, I'll work on the video between this week and next. This is a pretty standard rock. Ooh, we got a little hole in there. Not a hole, but you can almost see down to the middle of the rock. Again, I doubt many people ever see this outside of my immediate family, but if you do know me and you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out. I'm not even really sure how I'm going to post this yet. So here's a beautiful one, lots of banding. Look at that, lots of color distribution. So on this rock, it almost seems like it'd be ready to go to stage 2. There's a little spot here that I want to work on. I don't know if you can see that lip, but once I get that out, this rock is pretty much ready after 1 week, which is rare. And again, the first year I did this, I was in a rush to get a batch done in a month, and didn't have a lot of good turnouts. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. Love this. It reminds me of a creamsicle or dreamsicle or whatever. Look at that white with the quartz in the middle. Super neat. Super neat rock. Not a whole lot of pits in it. I don't think that one will be too long before we move that along to the next stage. And like I said, as I move some of the rocks out, I'll move some of the ones that haven't started in, and then I'll continue to run that batch. And then I think, fingers crossed, I'm getting a lotto tumbler for Christmas, so it should speed my process up on a lot of things here. I'll have to learn my way around it, just like I did with all my rotary tumblers that I have, all my lower tones. Like I said, I've only been doing it for a year, so I'm not the best, but I've learned a lot in a year, I can tell you that. This is pretty plain Jane, but it's a beautiful yellow orange. It would look great in one of my pictures. These could be used for sunset or something else in the background. I make a lot of rock murals that kind of sort of look like paintings, and I haven't done anything with them yet, but I would like to sell them eventually. Just a pretty standard rock. Got to do a lot of grinding down here. Looks pretty neat here in the center. Let me see if I can't get it to focus on my hand here. Nice little carnelian, or it looks like it. See these little pits? That's what I'm talking about, that need to be ground down. And they don't have to be, but a lot of times the grit will sit in here, and if you let it dry out, it'll get hard, and then it'll kind of ruin the rock. You gotta make sure you don't cross-contaminate your stages. But some people like to have their rocks perfect with no scratches or pits or anything, and then some people kind of think it gives it character. So this is my favorite one in this batch so far. And this, again, this is a 3A barrel. I got some more of these in my QT6 right now. But look at all these eye bulbs right here. Beautiful. It's almost like a volcano looking rock, because it kind of sits, I don't know, that's just my imagination. And then at the top we got some nice banding. Can't really get it to show up. Gosh, I really got to work on the camera work, but I'll post some pictures and stuff, and hopefully I can get a better turnout. Maybe you can see more what I'm talking about here. Here's a big one, almost like an Easter egg. Got to get these black pits out of here. But other than that, it's a pretty smooth rock. and it's kind of, you can tell it's broken off here. But I kind of like that if you wanted to lay it flat or whatever when you're done, or show off the banding on the inside. I don't know how long these are supposed to go, so here's a nice one. Again, broken rock, but the banding in the middle there is kind of neat. And again, that yellow orange on the outside is really nice. I'll try and speed this up. It says I've been doing this for 10 minutes. Again, this is just stage one, so none of these are moving on yet, but I just want to show you a whole process. I might clip it together and put it on YouTube when I'm all done, kind of going through the week by week process. Nice banding on this. Again, you can't see it. I'm going to try and get some better pictures. Oh, man, you really can't. I got to get a better camera. Here's another one. Love the white mixed with the orange. Love it. Look at that. Perfect round. That is a neat rock right there. Now see, I do got a little bit of a lip here that you could probably get your fingernail under, which I'm going to have to grind down. And what I really don't want to happen is just for orange part to erode all the way, kind of disappear, and then it'll just be plain white. It kind of just take away from the aesthetic of it almost. This is a neat one right here. Nice banding on top. Lots of eyeballs down there. It's got some work to go, but it will be a nice rock when all is said and done here. A couple more to show you. This is just big and orange, but she will be shiny when I'm all said and done. Now these look wet right now, or these are wet, which will kind of give you an idea of what the final polish look will be. Some of these have dried off over here, so I'll show you what it looks like dry. It's not shiny or pretty yet, but when they're wet, they still look pretty nice. Nice banding here. Look at the bottom of this. Lots of different colors. Lots of different colors. And again, if anybody ever has questions, I love... Nobody's ever interested, especially here in Indiana, so anytime I can talk about it, I love to do it. This is great. Little quartz line with some banding going around it. I believe that's what that is. Again, you're not going to see it, but all these grooves in here are going to be problematic. All these pits and these it's going to be hard for rocks to get in there and wear that away to make this kind of a smooth round. So that rock might end up being ground into nothing. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful rock. Bright orange. Banding, eyeballs. Just needs some more smoothing out here. I think I got 3 left if I had a right here. Standard carnelian, a little bit of faint banding. I don't know if you can see it or not. I might need to work on the lighting as well. But it's just standard. Now this one's neat for some reason to me. Greenish yellow outside. And as you get to the inside, you got a nice white middle, followed by a lot of banding through here. Again, you can't see it, but we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. This is just being filmed from a cell phone, so that'll tell you all you need to know. Nice orangish, and then it gets darker down there. But good looking rock. Just got to sand down some more stuff on the edges here. Got a little pit there as well. So here's, I'll go back to something like that one that I loved with the quartz. That's it, more dried off. It's not as pretty. Some of them just kind of look, that's wet on the bottom, but up here it's dried off. But so that's what these look like after 1 week. I'm gonna put them back in there, back in the course grip for another week, and we'll check and see if any of them are ready to move on from there. I'll probably check in with a couple pictures or videos to let you know what they look like after week 2, and we're gonna go through this process together. So until next week, have a good one. Hey guys, we're done with week 2 of stage 1 with the Bahia Agates. Just pulled them off the tumbler. I'm getting ready to clean them off and show you what they look like, see if there's anything ready to move on to the next stage, and then put them back on the tumbler. So it'll probably be pretty short this week. Okay, so I got all the rocks cleaned off. This is the hardest part. I'm literally stuck between a rock and a hard place because I don't know how to, I guess, what to move on and what not. I guess I'm pretty impatient in some cases, and others I'm a little worried about the rocks grinding away to nothing before they're ready to move on. So I'm going to give you a couple examples here. So this pile over here is what I consider to be ready to move on. They have literally just one small error maybe on the rock, 1 or 2 small errors per rock, but for the most part they're pretty rounded, pretty smooth, no super deep pits in them. So that's what I think these rocks are at, either that or, like as I showed you last week, this is my favorite rock, but it's almost, in 1 week's time, it's withering away to too small, and it's kind of losing its luster, which is sad, but the way she blows sometimes. But I got this big crack right here, so I'm gonna move it on. I'll just have to do a very good job of cleaning that out and making sure I get all the grit out from week to week. But as you can tell, like, this rock is pretty well smooth. I just got these 2 pits over here, but it's going to be the part of the rock that most people aren't looking at anyway, so I'm not too concerned. As long as the good side is facing up, if there's a mistake, like, I'm not too concerned about this, because look at that. I mean, the front side, and it does have some errors of its own, but look how pretty that is. And I really just don't want that to wither away to nothing, is essentially what I'm getting at. Same with these over here. Like I said, I love this rock here. It's done actually remarkable how much those pits have gone down. But at the same time, it's getting rather small, and I don't want, I don't want it to grind all the way down to nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead, I don't know yet, I'm gonna probably make an executive decision that you probably wouldn't like, but again, I've only been doing this for a year, so I'm not perfect by any means, and some people think that it adds character to the rock or whatever. This has just a few errors. You can see this is the one part that really gets it. By the way, the video much better this week. I can show you some of those lines. But this middle part right here, these 8 or 9, 10 stones, these have errors in them, but I think I'm gonna make an executive decision because, they're my rocks. I think I'm just gonna move them all on and just do a really good job cleaning them, just for the sake of time in this video. I think I'm gonna move everything along so I have enough media in the barrel to continue the process. This has just got 1 pit in it. Other than that, this is got that quartz, a couple there, you can kind of see them, but those don't really bother me as much. It's these deep pits that I worry. Sometimes when they get too deep, I get worried that I can't get my toothbrush in there deep enough to get all the grits out. But for the most part, these are well-rounded rocks that are pretty good, ready to move on. So I think I'm just going to move the entire batch on to stage 2 at this point. And I have 3 rocks up here that definitely are not ready. You can see the deep divot there, And it's kind of ugly on this back side as well. This one as well. Some grooves there, needs some work there. Pits, and it's just not ready at all. And this last one here, sorry, I keep taking my eyes off the camera. It's gonna be hard to get underneath this lip to grind that down. So what I think I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna stress make sure I do a good job cleaning between the rest of these stages. Make sure I do a really good job watering it out and cleaning the barrel and all that. But what I'm gonna move these on, and then I think once I finish, I'm gonna take the stones like these 3 right here, and I might just throw them back in again and just restart them. But for the purpose of this video and what we're trying to accomplish, basically a tutorial, we're gonna move these all on for now and call it a week. And we're going on to stage 2, which would be a 120, 220 grit, I believe. So I'll load this barrel up and we'll go for another week, and you'll see me then. So until next week, see you. Hey guys, I'm back again. I think we've gone through 4 complete weeks now. 3 weeks in stage 1 and 1 week in stage 2 from the last time I talked to you. So I've already pulled these out. It's going to be quick again. I'm going to let them roll 1 more week in stage 2. And I also took some of those rocks from my 6-pound barrel that were also ready for stage 2. And I threw them in here to kind of make up the difference, to fill the barrel up again. So I'm going to throw them back in for 1 more week in stage 2, and then we'll probably go to stage 3. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're ready to fill it up with stage 2. I'm going to put my tablespoons in here, roughly 4 tablespoons of the stage 2. I think it's 120, 220 mixture. 2. 3. I am terrible at videos, but bear with me. And 1 more for good measure. Imagine if I just dumped it all over the table. That'd be a mess. And again, I'm sure if you've watched other videos, make sure you clean your tablespoon. Look at all that shit on there. You have to make sure you really clean these out if you're using the same tablespoon with different sized grits, because it will, again, cross-contaminate. So, we got our water in. We got our water in here. I'm going to go ahead and barrel it up. Right? And where the hell did I put the rest of it? There it is. Throw the top on. Ooh. You know what else I need is my washer hiding down here. I'm gonna screw this puppy on. I'll put some new tape on it. And I'll see you next week. Hey everybody, it's been another week. We're, I think, 2 weeks into the new year, technically. We're going to open up the Bahias this week. I believe they went through their first week of stage 2 last time, so I will clean those off, lay them out, and show them to you. Just wanted to show off the hat this week, Shorts Brewery, for all my Michigan people up there. Tasty beers, so I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, I ran into a little bit of troubles. Turns out my garden hose is frozen, so I couldn't wash the rocks off like I typically do pretty quickly, so I had to do it inside. And then obviously know, as a point for anybody that's new, you never put grit or slurry down the drain because it basically turns into concrete and it'll screw up your plumbing pretty badly. So I had to wash them off by hand, and I did that 3 or 4 times just to make sure that the grit is not being transferred from stage to stage. The rocks look incredible for stage 2. I got most of the pits and stuff out of them. I'm actually really impressed that they're moving this fast through, I think, 4 weeks we've been doing this so far. And the one thing I wanted to mention, give me a second here. Oh yeah. The one thing I wanted to mention is, as you've heard me say earlier in the video, like some of my favorite rocks at the beginning, I start to worry because they're wearing away and you're kind of losing the luster, and that kind of stinks. So I pull it out and put it to the side to move on to the next stage, because I want to try and maintain what it's got left. But some of the other rocks, the more you break it down and break it away, sometimes it you know, unveils a rock that, you know, stuff on the inside of the rock that looks way better than what it looked like originally. And I can really tell that's evident this week, because I pulled some of these out and it's like I don't even recognize them, and they've only been in there for, like I said, I think a little over 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks maybe. Sometimes I let them go an extra couple days in each stage just to get the most out of that slurry and that batch. So I'm gonna take a few pictures, I'll let you see them. I believe, based on what I'm looking at, we're gonna move this on to stage 3, and we're getting towards the end and where we're gonna see the results that we're looking for. So until next week, have a good time. So last little note here, I forgot to do this before we get into next week. When you move on to stage 3, 500 grit, this is a pre-polish. It kind of has like a flour consistency to it. I believe the lower tone manual when you first buy your tumbler calls for stages 1 and 2. I use 4 tablespoons, and then when I get to pre-polish, I'm going to put 6 tablespoons in here. I know a lot of people do it differently, and everyone has their own little way. I've seen some people, they'll throw in like borax and sugar into like their final polish stage. I tried that one time, and it made my barrel kind of bubble up, and I had to burp it like all the way through, and it just turned out to be a complete mess. So I stopped doing that. I just kind of follow, you know, the manufacturer's instructions. So we did 6 here, and I'm going to put some water in it and get it back on the barrel or on the tumbler. And now I will see you next week. Hey guys, it's been, I think, 5.5 weeks now, almost 6 weeks. The Bahia Agates are been through a week of stage 3, so I'm going to pop it open. Hopefully my garden hose isn't frozen, so I can do it the easier way to clean them off a little bit and get them cleaned up. I'll show you what they're looking like and see if they are ready for stage 4, get them into polish, and hopefully we can wrap this thing up sooner than later and see what they look like. So I'm gonna clean them up and I'll be back shortly. All right guys, turns out the hose was frozen, so we had to do it the old-fashioned way. Got them cleaned up. I'm getting ready to show you some of them. The hat this week is from a brewery called, I think it's pronounced Bauhaus. It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Maybe one day if I ever get good at this, I can get sponsored by some breweries or something. Unlikely, because I doubt anybody ever sees this, but we can wish. Wishful thinking. So before I throw these all in for stage 4 polish, which is the most exciting one yet, there's a couple things I'm going to show you here, just some stuff I've noticed and kind of why I'm going on to stage 4, so stay tuned. Okay, so I got these all cleaned up, and they look great. There's a lot of exciting things here. I can't wait to see them all shined up. They're sort of drying off as we speak. A couple things I wanted to mention. First, if you notice, there are some newer looking rocks like this one. I've been showing you it. It's been in my 6-pound barrel, but the volume had gone down in my 3-pound, so I pulled it out and I moved it in with the batch it's supposed to be in. Another thing I've been noticing, for instance, like on some of these rocks, I'm starting to see banding show up the more it wears down. I wish I remember which one it was evident in. Well, I don't see it anymore. But anyway, it kind of makes me wish that I had tumbled it in stage 1 for longer. But at the same time, here, I'll turn it this way. At the same time, maybe not, I don't know. There are some where the more I tumble it, like this one for instance, you can see, like I'm starting to, that's one sore spot there, but like the banding, but I'm starting to see a lot of quartz. It's almost, there's another one here that's almost completely wore away, and now it's just almost just a piece of quartz, and there's no more agate left because I've ground so much of it out. And this is probably one rock due to that and some mistakes on here that I'll probably run again once it's all said and done. But for the purpose of the video, there's a lot of rocks. This one's another one turning into, we're losing the banding, and there's more and more quartz showing up, which I don't mind. I like the quartz in the middle, but I don't want to lose, you know, that contrast eventually, and it just become all quartz, because then it sort of loses, you know, what makes it so nice. So here's one last look. I believe when we talk to each other again, these suckers will be polished up, and hopefully we can cheers to a beer. Hopefully I get a nice turnout for my first video. Again, the worst thing about this is my anxiety, my patience. I'm so anxious to see what these look like polished that sometimes I move them on when they shouldn't, like with little airs in them here and there. I could, if I had a, you know, a cab wheel, I could grind those out without losing the rest of the rock. But since I don't, and I'm still kind of new to this, I moved them on with little imperfections in them, just because I don't want to tumble away the whole rock, and I can't just grind down one portion of it because I don't have the budget yet to provide that. So I'll see you next week, and these suckers will be polished up. So have a good week. All right, guys, I'm back, and it's the greatest day of the tumbling cycle when everything is done and completed after so much time. So this is the most exciting part, the part that we work for, and this is where you get to see the results. So it's been a week and a half. I ran the rocks in stage 4. I tumbled them for a week in polish, aluminum oxide, and then I just went a little bit over the top. I ran them for another 3 days in my vibratory tumbler, my Lotto, and just to see if they could get a little bit extra. They sort of look the same. Good turnout either way. So I'm gonna show you some of those, but first, gotta have our little vodka drink to get it going. Have us feeling good. Vodka is from Tower Vodka. It's a lot like Tito's. It's relatively new. I love it. It's got less bite than normal. Also, the hat this week is from Strings Sports Brewery. I think they're based in Jacksonville, Florida. I went there on a bachelor trip. Had a good time. Love the hat. It's like the hops is the net for the basketball. Good time. So those are my 2 free ads, I guess, this week. Those are both good vodka and a good sports brewery. So I've already cleaned these up and dried them off. I will be back in just a second, and we'll go through them one by one. I made the mistake earlier that I didn't take individual pictures of each rock before I started. So I would do a before and after, but since I don't have the befores, all I took was a massive groove picture. So I'll just do another video showing each rock individually, what I like, what I don't like, give you a chance to look at it. If you like this video, I'm hoping to do more. Hopefully I can get better as I go. So it's been fun. Hope you guys enjoy it. See ya. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go through the rocks. I laid down a black rag, so hopefully it brings out a little bit of the color. So I'm gonna bring them out for you. So first rock here, this is the one with those tiny black pits that I could tumble out, but I moved them on like we talked about. Little errors there, but boy, look, great shine. And then this came along later. A little fracture running through there. I don't know if I want to do anything with it or not, but we'll see. But look at that. That's that flat side. I think I remember you can lay it flat. Beautiful through there. Great. Took a great shine. So I like that. I'll try and not take too long because I know you guys have been watching for a minute now, but I wanted to have a glove on so I could not get my paws all over it, my fingerprints. Beautiful rock. Took a good shine. I have that one error there. And again, there's going to be those little errors on all of them. I really wish I had, I don't know if it would be a flat lap or just a grinding wheel. That way I could get rid of just this one little area and not have to wear away the whole rock. And I know I've mentioned that many times throughout the video. This is that quartz one that I liked so much. I like the orange right there in the middle. Kind of gives it a different, it's almost too bright. There's a little pocket there, and then obviously this stuff over here. But you can tell if I were to keep tumbling a lot longer, it looks like there's a lot of this quartz in the middle. And I don't know how much more of this I got before I would have ground away. Same with these tiny pits in the back. You couldn't grind away too much of that before it would be to the quartz. You can see it kind of taking over there. But overall, really neat rock. Love that. So what's next here? I'm just kind of randomly grabbing them out. Cool rock here. Got those a couple pits there, but if you see that right there, it almost looks like if you weren't very good at cleaning glass as chores as a child, but like it's like you left water spots on it almost a little bit right there. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Some of the banding is really faint and hard to see, but it comes out in the polish. A couple more tiny pits there. This is a rock I probably could have ground all these out. I decided to move it all the way through. It still looks nice. I like it. It gives it a little bit of character. It took a great shine everywhere else. There's just those few pits here and there, and that's going to be pretty much the case with most of these. Another one of the bigger ones. Got a little spall. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, there's a little tiny spall here. I can feel it with my thumb. Kind of plain Jane. There is some faint banding in there, but boy, overall, I mean, just a nice. Took a nice shine to that. And all of these really did. I mean, some of them are better than others, but I mean, they're really neat. Here's the one with all that banding and the quartz in the middle. Just again with those water spots almost, it looks like. Just super neat. Love it. Again, there's little errors everywhere, and like I said, I'm still trying to learn, trying to get better at this as I go. I love this hobby. This is like taken over my life over the last year, so that's, my girlfriend's not too thrilled about it, but they always want to know what you're gonna do with all the rocks. I'll get back on it, sorry. Nice banding in this one. A few errors here and there. Great color. Love that. See if I can, oh man, I can zoom in. Just super neat. And then it's kind of creamy on the back side, so that's cool. This one did not turn out the best. It just seems like there's a lot of little errors in it, and I guess it kind of took this down here kind of took away from the shine of it. And then obviously on the back side, I like the little eyeballs that we got here, but I don't really know what this white, it's not polish or leftover grit or any of that, because I cleaned them all really well in between stages. But wow, the camera's a lot better when you get it close. Let's see what's next here. It's the one that broke off. I talked about it several times. You got a fracture running right through here. I just didn't want to break it in half. I kind of like it the way it is. Almost looks like a turkey leg. But I like that through the side, the banding, and then you got a nice orangish top, a little bit of coloration in there. And then, but again, I don't know what this white stuff is, and if anybody knows, it's not from the tumbling. I mean, it's part of the rock. I just don't know. It's very interesting. I can't say one way or the other what it is, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Another larger one. Got some errors here. I just moved it on. I got an error back here. Good. Again, took a great shine. And then the good part of the rock is right around here. You can see, look at that banding right there, just very faint. And then when you get around to the front, that's just awesome. Look at that. Again, that white, that is a part of the rock. That is not my polish or grit or anything that's been carried over, because I clean my rocks very well. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately, and over the course of time, gotten better with it. This one's neat. Very orangish, couple pits here and there, but overall it took a great shine. Some spalls. And this is, and somebody will have to remind me, what were those called? You get them at Dairy Queen. They're either dreamsicles or creamsicles. I can never say it. I just never know. So somebody will have to let me know. This is the one I told you was my favorite rock at the beginning. Might as well start with the bad end. So I had a pit. It's pretty deep there, but you got tiny bands here, and oh, there's more pits on the side here. Sorry guys. Just overall, the side it's kind of a flat rock, but if you get to the front, and again, something happened to where it started cracking, and I don't know why that happens. Again, I'm fairly new, so if someone wants to explain it to me, but I love that, and it just sits flat. I think I can use that for something really cool down the road. One of my projects. All right, next one here. A little rough right there. Actually, it's not. It's just a little spall, but we got, almost looks like a light snow right here in the middle, and then we got the banding going through the sides, and then it's mostly cream on top. Look at that. You can see some faint banding right there, but took a great shine. Cool rock. We'll let it go. Okay. Oh, here's a big one. Now this one we found a fracture in the later stages, and if you see it right there on the left side, that sucker goes all the way through the rock. And had I found that earlier, I would have taken a chisel to it, or my wet saw, my tile saw, and chopped that off. But I found it later in the stages, and again, I don't want to say I rushed through it, because it's been almost 2 months, and I think these took a really nice shine. So I don't think I rushed through it, but there are definitely rocks that I could have spent a little more time grinding down and finding those errors. And there are still a couple in my 6-pound barrel that we won't get to see, but I might take some pictures later. If you remember this rock, this is the rock that I said after week 1, there was almost no errors in it. It was ready to move on after 1 week, and it just happened to be one of those rocks where there's just, I mean, you can't find, it looks like there's a fracture there, but if you could run your hand across it, there's no indentation. It feels smooth. So this rock was probably the easiest one. I love it. Lots of banding on the sides, and that sucker turned out perfect all the way around. So that's a really nice rock. So we'll go with it there. What's next here? If you look here, I got a little pit that I moved on. It's almost a greenish yellow. Cool banding here on the, look at all those little eyeballs. And then you got that. Really neat. And then on the top side, it just turns into, you know what, I really don't know what it is, because it's like an orangish yellow. Again, I'm not very great at identifying, but that is, I like the way that turned out a lot. That was really neat. What we got next here? Another one of the greenish yellow. I got a little pit here, and if you look, the banding is all like directly in that pit, which is really weird, but I like it. has got a great color scheme to it, and not a whole lot of mistakes that I can feel. Obviously it's not perfect, but who is? So that's a neat rod. So we got this one, wonderful from this side, great banding all the way across, no errors. I got a spall here on the bottom, and then I got a big one back here that I should get out. And again, I wish I could grind that down, just that individual area. Just don't have the tools yet for such things. But overall, neat rod. Sorry, I'm trying not to keep you all day, but let's see. This one, I think you'll be able to remember. This had a bunch of tiny eyeball pits in it, and most of them got ground away in stage 2. And it turned out to actually be a pretty neat rock. There's a tiny spall there. You got a little quartz thing on the top, which I really like. But for some reason, this rock is like imperfect, but I'm drawn to it almost. It's just neat to me for some reason. It's almost like it's not perfect in any way, but for some reason I like it a lot. I can't really explain that one. This one might be the neatest. And I don't know why on this one either, but look, I mean, it just took a great shine. You got that cream look with a big eyeball right in the middle. And if you remember in the very beginning of the video, there was a little lip here. I got rid of that. That's smoothed out. And then as you transition over, there's nice banding. And then it goes to a nice, clean looking orange on the back side. But boy, I mean, look at that. And it's kind of hard with the reflection. I'm trying to get it so you can see what you want, but I guess that's a good problem to have when you have that much of a reflection. That means you're doing something right if you're getting that good of a polish. Here's another one. That's smooth against there. I'm looking at these as you're looking at these, so I'm kind of observing them myself for the first time. I love all these little eyeballs across the back here. And then there's a side with faint banding to it. Don't know much about that, but we like it. It took a nice shine. There's a fracture here that could almost be chipped off, but again, I didn't find that until after I was done. So, or maybe if you saw it early in the video, I did not. Here's the one that I took out from the rest of the batch a little early, just because I didn't want to grind it all the way down, and I lost a lot of the cool parts on the outside. So I moved it on its own, and it finished a little bit earlier than everything else. So look, got a lot of neat beginnings of the eyeballs. I wonder if I would have kept it going, if that would have revealed a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure on that. And there's obviously some rough spots right here. The bottom took a very clean finish, and so did the top with that banding right through there. So that's what I call my volcano rock, and at least that's what it reminds me of. Might be the color, might be the shape, who knows. Here's another one. This is pretty plain Jane, just an orangish color. Got a little bit of banding on the sides, but overall took a great polish. You can see my fingerprints getting all over these things, but who cares? Again, if you're seeing the fingerprints, it means I did a good job, in my humble opinion. Another rock, beautiful. Got one little pit there that I didn't get out. Probably could have tumbled that out if I took longer and spent more time with it. On the front side, love it. Besides this little part right here, got the nice white contrast with the orange. Very neat, very shiny everywhere, but that one pit there and this one little pit back here. You know what, for my first video, I should not be drawing your eyes to all the mistakes instead of what's pretty, but I'm not a perfectionist, but I do want to say that I'm not the greatest, but here we go. Nice, again, plain Jane, pretty thin if you look at it. If you look at the depth of my finger versus that, but it took a great shine, great polish. Nothing spectacular, but can be very useful down the road for whatever I use these for. I just ordered a bunch of tiger eye. I think I'm gonna make a 3-dimensional Notre Dame helmet and see what I can do with that. Maybe later in the video. Love this rock right here. Look at these. It's that greenish yellow again. There's a little spall there, a little bit of quartz popping up through that banding. But overall, really neat rock. Look at that right there. I'm glad you can finally see the bands that I saw the entire time, but they're really showing up now at the end, so that's really good. And if you notice earlier in the video, the later we got into it, I kind of showed you them only dry, just so you can see how much it pops when you're all said and done here. This came out later. It's ugly as shit. I wish I would have chipped it off, but I didn't. And it looks like it's coming off in 3 different places there, so not the best turnout. It took a nice shine, got some good banding in there, but overall, I could have done better. Could have done better. There's something to build off of. Here's one that I mentioned I moved, or it was starting to become all quartz, I think. If all this isn't quartz, I'm gonna look like a dumbass at the end of this video, but we'll, see. Bigger pit there, and then there's faint banding you can see, and then it just came out to be mostly clear. That lost that orangish look on the backside. You can tell there's not a whole lot left before it would have just turned completely white. So again, not one of my best, but we'll move on. This one's extremely shiny. Love it. Got a couple pits there on the back. Nice creamy orange color. Nothing really standing out, but still a nice rock. We'll take it. Another great one. Little quartz in the middle, some banding, nice contrast, nice shine. Let me see if those are actually, see, that's all smooth. So it looks like that's a fracture there, but that is smooth all the way around. So don't be fooled by that. That actually turned out correct, believe it or not. I think this is the back side. Pretty neat. I only got about 10 left, and they're all smaller, so I'll speed this up. I know I'm taking forever. I'm dropping everything as well. Cool. This one's one of my favorite ones. I got a couple chips here, but it's that greenish yellow again. For some reason, I'm drawn to that. And I cleaned these out as good as I could. It almost looks like there's lead in there. And I know that's probably not it, but it's like a speckled on this side, the greenish speckle, and then it goes into some banding. I'll flip it over for you into a more yellowish banding across the top. That's smooth until it gets up here. There is a little bit of a spall there, but that's whatever. So that's a cool rock. I especially like this one. Got good banding on this side with a couple eyeballs. That's relatively smooth, even though it looks a little bit rough. And then I like this side for some reason. It just kind of mass chaos almost. It got banding on the top here, and then you got this group of eyeballs down here, and then you got another little group up here. So I really like that rock. I guess I could zoom out on it so you can kind of get an overview. Neat. But what I hope you guys are taking from this is these actually turned out wonderful. Very bright, very shiny, compared to a lot of what I did when I first started. This one looked all right. This is the one I told you I'm putting it back in regardless. There's a huge pit here. It runs all the way through. And it looks like, if you can see in that glare, it wasn't there when I finished tumbling it, but I think it got beat up in the lotto a little bit. So I might run this back through again just to get rid of that. And I don't even know. I mean, it's the size of my knuckle. I don't know how much will be left when that's all said and done. So I don't know if I'll do that one again or not. This one, we got a little pocket there, nice banding, the quartz in the middle, got a little mess up there, but other than that, pretty plain Jane. Got another one up there. The rest of these are pretty plain looking. That one's another one. You can tell it looks like you got water spots from doing your cleaning the glass wrong. That's where you get the belt. Sorry. Pretty plain rock. Took a good shine. That part's cool. I like that. And again, some people probably hate seeing the quartz come through. They wanted to see all agate. It doesn't bother me in the least bit. I actually kind of like it. This rock has a weird shape, but boy, I mean, look at the banding here. I mean, it's turned out to be small. It's got a big crevice over here that I had to clean out a lot. But boy, if you get to the good part of this rock, that banding is hard to beat. It's a relatively small. It's not perfect in any way, but this shot right here does it all for me. The color difference, the amount of banding, I love that. Plain Jane orange, no mistakes with this one. Faint banding, nice orangish color. This was another one of those 3. Just got to run it again. Relatively small, but it's just damaged all the way through, but I moved it on anyway for the purpose of the video. Again, this one, nice big crack in it. Probably needs to be ran again. However, I did get a nice sight here. Look at the banding around the quartz. I just got to get that out and that out and that out. So 3 left. Let's do them together here. Small airs there, but cool colors. Like that a lot. I mean, overall, I just love these rocks. It turned out great. I couldn't be happier with them. And I hope you guys enjoyed the process as well. I think it was kind of fun. Look at that. It goes from yellow to like a reddish orange. And then down here, ooh. Neat. Absolutely neat. So I hope you guys had as much fun with these as I did. This is that one, if you can see, gosh, I keep dropping them. Look at that curve there. I didn't think it would ever clean up in there because it's kind of hard when you got those crevices for rocks to get in here and grind on this concaved part. Not a bad rock though. I probably won't throw it back in. Love that on the backside. And then the good banding right here. So, and last but not least, and this is actually one of my favorite ones in the whole batch, believe it or not. Just a great display of color, how it transitions. I mean, you can't get much better than that. There's no mistakes on it, or none that I really care about. There's one right there, but overall, really neat rock. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can feel free to leave comments if you want. I hope you're not too harsh on me. I know I don't know a whole lot. It's just something I enjoy doing. It's a passion of mine. So if you liked it, feel free to like the video. Other than that, let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I can do a bunch more of these. Hopefully I can get better with the camera work. I mean, there's room for a lot of improvement, but you got to start somewhere. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, I got the rocks from therockshed.com. They're Bahia Agates. So this is Mikey signing off. Have a good one.